Here in this box in front of me sits a very interesting take on a Chromebook that we've talked about already. We actually did a whole review, the Acer Chromebook Spin 714. And if you remember, that device is pretty high-end, got lots of nice specs, 13th gen processor, 8 gigs of RAM, nice screen, nice form factor, good build quality. I liked everything about that device. We still have it around. I think it's a great Chromebook. This is like an upgraded version, and because of the specs that come in this one, and we'll talk through all that stuff as we get in the box, this one aligns itself more price-wise with something like the HP Dragonfly Pro, and that's interesting at this point, as Chromebook Plus is now a thing, and mid-range, nice devices are kind of starting to flood the market. This is a different take from Acer to say, hey, look, there's still something to offer in this high-end Chromebook space. So let's jump in this box and see what it's about. All right, so this is like the main box here. There were a couple, at least 2 boxes in here. So I was gonna get the main box out and just skip all this, but put that stuff there. Okay, so it looks like, I couldn't tell if it was like a mouse as well. It looks like a carrying case with it. This is going to be at Best Buy at some point in October for $999. And again, if that price tag hits you and you're just like, oh my God, $1,000, $1,000 Chromebook. I think what's going to happen now is we have Chromebook Plus, and we have these $400 to $550 Chromebooks that are great and offer a really solid user experience. Now, they're not perfect at everything. They're not perfect Chromebooks, but they're good Chromebooks. And then we're going to have a few Chromebooks that push way outside of that and say, like, hey, look, we're going to try to really cram in a bunch of stuff here. So, like, the stylus is back here. The screen gets upgraded to 425 nit Quad HD display. So, I mean, we're packing in a lot of extra specs here on a Chromebook. Like I said, if you go back and watch our review, that was really excellent to begin with. And so there's going to be people, maybe not a ton of people, that really want to have that kind of experience. So I think it's wise for these companies, HP, Acer, Asus, to continue to go, hey, we'll make one standout, big, super flagship Chromebook, maybe each year, 18 months or something like that. It's a nice case. And it's nice to get a case with a $1,000 purchase, if you're asking me. It's no knock to HP for not including a case in theirs, but it's a nice add-on for sure. This one has already been opened, so we'll put that guy away. It's one of these deals. Let's see. And so little things for me in a $1,000 Chromebook that I'm also looking for, unfortunately, is not this. Like, this is just a standard USB-C brick, and it's fine. It's going to charge a Chromebook. It's probably a 45 or a 60 watt or something like that. It might not even be clearly marked on the outside, but micro print that I'm not going to bore you trying to read. Regardless, like, there are nicer charging bricks. The Dragonfly Pro was a perfect example of, I think it's a 96 watt charging brick, but it had that braided cable that went along with it. Like, little touches, when you're going to charge $1,000, little touches matter. I'm not put off by recycled boxing and stuff like that. I don't know that there's a way to do it better. I know the Vero line did a really good job with their boxing. Like the packaging and stuff was really cool, even though it was not a super expensive Chromebook, and it was all recycled and reusable. So just things to think through if anybody from Acer is watching this. When you're going to charge this much for a Chromebook, there's a couple extra little things you can do to make that experience a little bit nicer when you're going to charge this much for a Chromebook. Now, on the outside, this is the exact same Chromebook that we've talked about before. It's the newer Spin 714. It's kind of got that gold hint on all the hardware here. Same aluminum chassis throughout, same fan ports, all that kind of stuff. We'll talk about this real quick. Full-size HDMI, love that. USB Type-C, headphone microphone jack. Power button here, volume rocker, USB Type A, another USB Type C over here. That's about it, your fan ports, but the thing feels great. I mean, I love the feel of aluminum in a laptop. So it's nice and thin, feels good. It's weighted very well built. No changes there. And if I remember correctly, this is a one finger lift situation. Yep. So again, little niceties that you kind of hope for on a Chromebook. Oh, this does have a fingerprint scanner. I couldn't remember that either. So turn the screen brightness down a little bit. So just a quick recap. We've got a 16:10 screen here on the 714. This time around, it's Quad HD. I'm back and forth on Quad HD on a screen this size. Obviously, everything is going to be Oh yeah, I mean, it's pin sharp. It looks like you know, like your phone screens do, like the font rendering and stuff. I mean, it is just absolutely pin sharp. So if you care a lot about displays, I'm going to crank. Yeah, and that's wildly bright. I'm not going to even think about turning that towards the camera. So if you really get into displays and kind of want that really high-end feel in your display, this is going to deliver that for you. But down here, you've got your fingerprint scanner, which is awesome. Inside, it's got a Core i7, 13th gen Core i7 processor, 8 gigs of RAM. At $1,000, I would have thought they would have put 16 gigs of RAM in this, but it's 8 gigs of RAM, 256 gigs of NVMe storage, and I forgot that too. The USB Type-Cs are Thunderbolt 4, so they're USB 4 with Thunderbolt 4. You've got a Corning Gorilla Glass screen and trackpad, and then the webcam, I want to say, is Quad HD as well. I'm pretty sure. We'll check that in just a second. So I need to get logged into this guy. But from what we can tell here, I mean, the outer parts of this chassis are going to remain the same. So all the things I loved about the 714 are all going to stick here. So it's not like this is going to be a wildly different device. It's just cool to see some of these things back. So let me get logged in real quick to this, and then we will cut back. Okay, I've got all logged in, and as usual, I can form some pretty quick opinions on a Chromebook by just going through the login process and kind of typing in a handful of passwords and that kind of stuff and navigating around for just a few minutes. And so I want to point out a couple things in this because ultimately we're not going to do a review of this device. I mean, we've done a review of this device, of this exact device. It's no different really than the 714. And again, that's going to be linked down there. I'd encourage you, if you're interested in this one or the lower priced one, go check out that review and see what I have to say about it, because I really do like this Chromebook. But there's considerations you need to make if you're going to spend $1,000 on a Chromebook. And all the boxing stuff aside, packaging, whatever, like don't worry about that stuff as much, because once you're done with that stuff's gone. And it is nice to have a nice charger, but ultimately those things don't matter that much. Here are the upsides you're getting with this device over the HP Dragonfly Pro Chromebook, because ultimately that's the only other Chromebook really that's kind of modern in this kind of price range at this point. One of the upsides is this is going to be at Best Buy. So the HP has been notoriously difficult to find. I had somebody email me just the other day about not being able to still find the black one. The white one's in stock, the black one's never in stock. HP said they were going to get that thing into Best Buy and retailers. It's yet to happen, and that device has been out for most of 2023 at this point. So not sure what's going on there. That being said, this one's going to be at Best Buy, which also means there's a chance that we'll see it drop in price. Chromebooks at Best Buy just have a tendency to go on sale. So all of a sudden, if you start seeing this for $850 or $800 or something like that, that obviously changes some of the mindset around this device. But for right now, I'm comparing this to the Dragonfly Pro, kind of just give you an idea of, hey, these are the upsides and here are the downsides. So one is this thing I'm holding in my hand, the pen. Having this, it stows right in the front. Right here, like it did on last year's 714, so it just slides right in. It's a recharging USI stylus. Obviously, any other USI stylus will work on this device, but this one feels very responsive. Let me just click around. I'll just click Chroma box, and I don't know if you notice this when we're doing unboxing. Sometimes it's trying to like face the screen and click. I have a hard time sometimes clicking on the right stuff, but I feel like just every little tap gets registered on this thing. It's super good as far as its ability to respond to small taps and not feel like I have to jab the screen a lot, which I do like. And so the included stylus is good. It's got a slightly rubberized tip on it so that when you're dragging it across the screen, it's got a tad bit of tug. So like if you're writing with it, it's going to feel nice. And so it's nice to have that included. Again, you can use any USI stylus you have, but it's nice that this one is right here. It's in the device. You're always going to have a writing device. And then second, part of that writing experience is being able to flip this guy into a tablet mode and pick it up and write with it. And so if you want to do something like that, obviously you're not going to be able to do that with the Dragonfly. That's not a thing. And so being able to write on the Chromebook and have it in tablet mode is a win for the 714 in this segment. And so keep those things in mind. Everything else is kind of a push, I would say. Port selection's better here too, so we'll go with that as well. If you don't want to carry a dongle around, the Dragonfly Pro is 4 USB Type-Cs, and that's all. This one, you know, you've got your HDMI, you've got USB Type A and then C, and so you can get away without having to have a dongle on you at any time with this device. And so there's a bunch of stuff that, you know, this is doing better in my opinion, but there are multiple things where they're kind of a tie too. So, you know, like the screens on both are great. Yes, I know the Dragonfly Pro gets to 1200 nits or something crazy, you know, but you know, this one's also Quad HD. It's 16:10. It looks great. It's pin sharp. It's got great viewing angles. It's got great color saturation. It gets to 425, and usually Acer underdoes their nit rating, so I bet you it's hitting like 450, which is going to get you through 95% of your lighting conditions. Are you going to be able to use it in direct sun? It'll be tough. It won't be Dragonfly, but you can't use the Dragonfly that long in direct sun. If you crank it to 1200 nits, we all know it's a couple hours of battery at best. So, you know, I really can't give either one of them a win on the screen. But I do think the Dragonfly Pro, well, we'll say that too, that they both have fingerprint scanners, which is really cool, and they're both fast. Now, the Dragonfly is a Core i5, this is a Core i7. There's not a huge span of difference between those two. This is a 13th gen Core i7, so it's probably going to be a little bit faster. And because the 13th gen chips are just kind of iterations of the 12th gen Alder Lake chips, obviously without testing this I won't know, but this could be a tad bit better on battery too. Efficiency usually in Intel's kind of TikTok thing, if a chip isn't completely changed, usually it gets better on battery efficiency. So there's a chance that, you know, the battery gets better here. But those are kind of the pushes. The places where the Dragonfly Pro is going to beat out this device are keyboard and trackpad. The keyboard on the Dragonfly is elite. I mean, it's one of the best. This is a good keyboard. I said it in my review of the 714. It's got a great sound. It's backlit, but the Dragonfly has the 5-zone RGB keyboard. It's super bright backlit. The keyboard feels amazing, and then the trackpad just demolishes this one. This is a fine size trackpad, but it's not my favorite that Acer makes. And this particular one, it didn't do this on our other review unit, has a little bit of wobble to it, so you can hear before I click. That's not a click. That's the trackpad being seated when I push on it. So every time I'm navigating, just sliding around, you can hear that. That's super annoying to me. Like for $1,000, I would send this back. Because if I just hold my finger on it and seat it, and then I'm navigating, you don't get that. And then the click would sound like this if it's already seated. That's it. But what you get instead is, you hear that kind of double click sound. That stuff to me is annoying and inexcusable in a $1,000 Chromebook. Across the board, there's no excuse for it. They need to make sure and not ship trackpads that sound like that and do that for a device that costs this much. With Dragonfly, you get a haptic trackpad. You never have to worry about that. So obviously the win to it goes there. Fingerprint scanner, again, is going to be a kind of a push. Webcams, I would almost say this is like a push, but the webcam on this one is a Quad HD webcam. The one on the Dragonfly Pro is 8 megapixels, so it's double the resolution. They're both going to look good. I mean, when I pull up the camera in here, you're going to see temporal noise reduction stuff going on. Acer's been doing that really great. Like that looks fantastic. I'm going to point it over at Joe and see if it adjusts. I can't really tell. Oh, there it goes. Yeah, I mean, it really brought up. It's very dark over there, as you saw when I first turned it, and it really did a lot of noise and lighting adjustments. And then as I turn it back to me, it immediately switches. So camera's good on both of them. Yes, spec-wise, the HP is probably better for your money, but I wouldn't worry too much about the camera there. And then you got to talk about speakers. The speakers on this device are what I would call good. They're not mind-blowing. They're good. And let me go to one of our videos so I can hear our roll.
Chromebook
You'll
Plus.
hear, I mean,
it's a new category
that's
of
full,
Chromebook
and the
that simply
speakers are right there up
delivers
top.
more of what you need at the price point that you want. So let's talk about it.
I mean, they sound good. They're not super loud, but they do sound good. But we all know about the HP Dragonfly Pro speakers. I mean, they're just wild. They're the first speakers that blew me away more than the Pixelbook Go. And so you have to weigh your options here with this device. At $1,000, I really think you have to weigh them. What I wanted was to open this up and go, man, the addition of the pen, the addition of the fingerprint scanner, the upgrade to the Core i7 internals, I kind of hoped it had 16 gigs of RAM because this one has 8 and the Dragonfly has 16. But I was hoping the upgrade to all those things was going to just be like, this puts this thing over the top and kind of feels like it's sitting toe to toe. And there's, you know, little trade-offs between the two, deciding on which one you want to go with. Because regardless of how much you like the HP, if you need a convertible, if you need a pen to work with it, obviously this is the Chromebook for you instead. But it's not that clear cut, unfortunately. There's some trade-offs that I don't love that you would have to make at $1,000. And so I don't know. I just have a hard time believing that, you know, the inclusion of a pen and a fingerprint scanner and a higher resolution screen that isn't necessarily necessary in this device and a screen this size is worth going up to $1,000 for, when you can get the regular one, the 714, for it's $699 normally, and then it's on sale a lot for like $550 and $600, and you're going to get generally the same user experience out of it. That's a tough call, and there are going to be some of you that are just like, no, I want more processor speed, I want a fingerprint scanner, I want convertibility, I want a stowed USI pen, I want that higher resolution screen, and I'm willing to pay a few $100 extra for it. Hey, that's completely fine, and I'm sure that's the camp that Acer is kind of trying to reach with this device. But I would have to say, like I said, we're probably not going to review this thing. So for now, if you're trying to figure out like $2,000 Chromebooks, HP or Acer, I'm hoping that some of the stuff I pointed out with this device will help you kind of make that purchase decision in the end. But guys, that's it for this one. If you like this video, give us a thumbs up, head down there, hit that subscribe button, and be sure to ring the notification bell as well if you'd like to be alerted when we make future videos just like this one. Till next time, we'll see you.